All right, here we go again. Buckle up. So, like I said before, when you get into office, you connect to the United States, and your machine then begins to draw down a bit. So, what you're seeing is your luck is changing, but you don't have enough power to manifest the luck you had previously because before you were just kind of freewheeling. Right? You point at Biden, say Biden this, Biden that. Now you can't do that as easy. Right? Thank you. So you just have to focus kind of on a different vibration. Even when you were elected, the coalition you put together, some didn't really care for some of your platform, but that you actually, you well, I guess what they say, you pandered to their community and they accepted it. Right. So, like the immigration, like for the Arabic people that support you, the immigration side of it, they're not pro immigration reform. Right. A lot of those people. Right. But you hit the benchmark for something else. So when you get confronted with something like that, she's just speaking her mind, and that's it. And you parallel the conversation because that's the truth. You are trying to be compassionate, but there's only so many ways to be compassionate. A lot of the things that are going on just aren't at what they appear to be at face value, and you're going to fix it so that you can present a world of safety and security for the entire community. Right. Wait, you're not focusing on destroying people that believe they're gay, people that believe they're trans. That only goes so far. Well, you're going to run into people with different opinions all the way through this. It's just beginning. And if you show that you have a thin skin, they're just going to keep doing it and they're going to increase it. Right. Well, what do I want? Get these people away from me, like it's supposed to happen in a lawful community of law and order. Destroy them if you need to. Find a way to get me out of this life that they put me into by being paid by millionaires and billionaires and corrupt government contracts. Right? And then I can take care of things a little bit better. Right. Well, no, I should have been already paid 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago. You all know how the world works. These people are micromanaging my life away. They're criminals, every last one of them. And of course, they're deep state. No matter what, because what happens is the deep state, like I told you, will create anti-deep state people that are actually deep state. I tell you, there's deep state over there, and it's not over there. Again, low Christ is here, low Christ is not there. It's in the Bible also. Thank you, Larry. They're false people. So when you're confronted with that, just either ignore it or come up with a positive message. Don't come up with shitty message because it's not the same world as it was 8 years ago. Thank you, Lynch. Thank you, sir. We even still have COVID. I mean, people still, every so often catch COVID and go, shit. Like I remember going years upon years upon years with nothing, not even catching a bug at all. Right. And that's going by the way. So it's a whole different world. I just kind of use that as one example. Right. Thank you, Larry. So social interaction is probably a little more muted than it used to be in a lot of places. Thank you, Larry. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have. I may not even have gotten symptoms if I'd have been on my regimen. Right. They are there day in and day out. When I purchase something, they're psychologically and metaphysically stopping it, and even they've done it physically where they've taken it out of the stores. They want me to know that they can manage to remove a certain vitamin from a store shelf that I'm purchasing. I'm not crazy. That's what they're doing. It's psychological warfare, psychological torture, criminally operated spycraft for criminal purpose and criminal intention. That's what they're into. So again, you're just receiving a little bit of it. They're going to get in close and do a bunch of things to you. And that, I guess that was kind of in close. And she does have a point of view. Just, we're going to be as compassionate as we can be, but we believe that we are being compassionate, that we are trying to protect these children from being convinced of something that may not be true, and not saying that it doesn't exist, that gay children doesn't, we're not saying gay people don't exist. It's just simply there's this push to believe that you're gay or that you're this or that you're that. And there is a whole metaphysical mechanism that can do that. Right. And then, of course, there's a psychological mechanism. And you can see that even out online, how they're trying to convince everybody that there are 15 shades of sexuality. And in some cases, it does exist because of the metaphysical environment. Right. Well, people just aren't as positive, and they don't heal people as much. That's really what's going on. There used to be a secret healing movement, a secret prayer movement, where people that really cared. What we have today is people pray and they, present this persona in a church, and they can give a shit less whether you heal of something or not. Right. And then they also, in some cases, they want you to actually to fail so they can feel good about themselves being holier than you are. Again, holier than thou. Right. So just a whole bunch of stuff there. It's just, I think you either ignore it or you present your own positive message. Because you went shitty. I mean, that works to a certain degree. When people are angry at the administration and you're running for office and you go, people are, but now you're the administration. So at a certain point, the buck stops with you. And they go, okay, yeah, but you're in office. I understand it's messed up and you don't like it being messed up and you say you're going to change it, but it hasn't changed. It's day 2, I told you, it's a double-edged sword. The way you won is a double-edged sword. But you won. I mean, that's just the way it is. Because now it plays against you. So again, things like Elon doing the Nazi salute, you don't need that bullshit. I mean, yeah, you can bring your machine out and say, oh, anybody that says that is a liar. And why have to worry about it? You remember last time? I mean, it was crazy. They can get just as crazy or crazier. Right. In a way, I think they put Donald Trump they tried to put him in an ivory tower. Right. And they did it to Biden, that's for sure. And again, a lot of people have noted that, and I even noted that. He's not really running the country. Right. Thank you, Lawrence. The Admiral in Star Trek. Thank you, Larry. Well, I think when Trump's surrounded by so many supporters, he doesn't understand that even though he won the election, that's not like. I think in MAGA, in the whole Trump team thing, they're trying to present it. It's kind of an illusion. Like everybody that voted for Trump is this crazy about Trump supporter, and they just gush at the MAGA dance, and the YMCA and all that. Well, those are people living rich lives, and people living well lives, and those are far and few between. So you're presenting an illusion to Donald Trump. Not everybody gushes when he does that, and I tried to explain that the other day. They're looking for meat and potatoes. Thank you, Larry. They want the meat of the matter. They want to see results. And again, it's going to take time for results. So again, you have to present a different platform. Because I can see it already. I told you even with the Speaker of the House, quit just pointing at Biden all day. They're going to expect you to do something. Well, you did all those executive orders. The way you won the election is to a coalition of people. And some of them actually don't like some of your platform. So you actually offended some of your supporters by supporting some of your other supporters. Right. So again, just be careful. You're not as powerful as the illusion. Thank you, Larry. Again, it's an honorable support, 47% favorability rating in the world that we live in today. But yeah, as you notice, you don't have the favorability that previous presidents had going in. Right. I don't necessarily blame the Trump machine for it. I mean, there might be something you could have did different, but I don't know how much more you could have gotten. Right? Well, because again, the world that we're living in, the world that you want in, is that type of world. They don't really support you. They support something you presented. And if that happens, then they're fine with it. If it doesn't, then they're not fine with it. So like I just want to try to say, I watch you all and I'm like, yeah. Well, it's like Cuba before the revolution. Right. Yeah, all these rich people hanging out and dancing. But it was about ready to go. 100%. So again, people are still living that life that you campaigned on fixing. It didn't change, and it might get worse. So that's why I keep telling you, be careful of inflation. Don't play that game. Well, you're trying to what you're trying to do. I think you're trying to do. A lot of it is negotiation power. That's okay. But if you do bring those in, you're trying to do what Biden tried to do, like outpace inflation by increasing wages. But it didn't work, did it? He did. I mean, as far as income increase, that's how you were able to win, because Biden didn't say, "Look, you're making more money." Right. What's really going on is a lot of discretionary spending, also. So there's a lot going on in people's lives psychologically that could have been handled better, during the Biden campaign. Through Amazon and other things, a lot of discretionary spending going on. And credit cards got out there. They had their credit was. Some people got good credit because they didn't pay their rent. And it wasn't on the report. So they got all these credit cards and they just spent on all this stuff. And now they don't have money. I mean, it's also bad luck. The world's bad luck for a lot of us. Because look, I just fixed my credit. I had a lecture in the bank, right? And then I got COVID. And there was no way for me to get things in but pay top dollar to stay well and to eat. 100%, Larry. So again, there are a lot of spells. I got people stalking me that curse me every day, and it's not because I cursed them. They did this to me for decades before I ever said anything. 100%, Larry. I mean, it's criminal. They could be arrested in a second for what they did to me. People I work with in the government could be arrested even today because it's one long criminal conspiracy. I mean, it's not like I didn't tell them. It's not like I didn't warn them. I even told them like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, stop so the statute of limitations could be run. I mean, you're all just continuing it. Well, who's going to charge you? Well, I don't really care. God's going to send you to hell, and that's where I focus. You're not going to heaven, any of you. Hell exists. Just because you create hell on earth to torture people doesn't mean it doesn't exist in hell. I mean, you're weirdos, man. You're all, and then you Trump people are becoming weirdos. I mean, what Elon did with the swastika or the Achtung thing, the Heil, that's weirdo, man. Darn weirdo. Quit fooling yourselves. You're dancing around all day in cocktail parties, and everybody else is having a shitty life. And you think it's going to last, the honeymoon? I mean, if you over-deport, there's going to be inflation. It's just a fact of life. So there's several things that you're planning to do that could cause inflation. I mean, I think you need to start looking at your donors. I mean, it's nice to get the money from the people that price gouge, right? People that are actually causing the inflation. It's nice to get the extra money in, right? But you need to tell them no. Don't donate to me if you're gonna jack the price up for the everyday American. I mean, they're gonna catch on to you, and some are beginning to question it because you've already said that you're not going to do anything. You can't do anything about the prices. You came out and actually said that. That's bad. That's bad business, right? So again, you lost some support because you already told people that you're not going to be able to do anything about the prices. I don't know who's advising you. You sound like deep state idiots. I believe you can do something. As long as you keep them level while raising wages, you're okay. So you tell the business community they have an obligation to this nation to keep their profits within something acceptable, so that people can afford the food and to buy things. I mean, it's not good. You could be in 4 years and be a lame duck in a year and a half, 2 years. I'm telling you the truth. And you got senators and congressmen out there gushing over you, but in a year and a half or 2 years, if it breaks bad, they're not even going to help you. They may even condemn you. 100%. I told you, reduce the friction for that day you take over the office, because there's going to be a downturn. You're going to go down. You went down. Somebody right standing before you dissed you. I mean, you still got people in your ranks that are trying to kill me. Every day I help you, they try to kill me. Make up some bullshit like I'm not supposed to be saying anything. I mean, who the fuck ever heard something like that? I'm not supposed to say anything? Well, fuck you and fuck your families. Fuck your organizations. Fuck anybody that supports you. There it is. Is that how you want to live the next 4 years? We'll live it that way if you want. Take Mr. Octoon Zig Heil and go to hell. How about that? I'm not here to play some fucking game. The guy's a freakazoid. Nassad and Shin Bet are going to check out do a psychological test on him without him even knowing it. And we're going to figure out where he is. And we see if he's still safe to remain with all that money and out in society like that. We're going to figure it out. Believe me. You all fantasize about being closet Nazis, you'll find out what's in your closet. Mossad will find out what's in your closet. Shin Bet will find out what's in your closet. And then we'll have fun. No, I do not stand for billionaire Nazis. The curse on you is increasing and will increase. But if you want to change, then things can change. I don't even understand it. You got billionaire Jews and multimillionaire Jews in your midst, and you allow idiot to do that. I'm not going to use his name. You allow idiot to do that. So again, there's a point where Musk becomes a detractor. And I think we're reaching that point. You don't want to be honest? I'll be honest. To begin with, I think he played people out in the public to get where he wanted to get to. Remember, Musk wasn't there your first administration at all. Correct. I believe he played some games to get himself in. In fact, he seems like he took on my persona and he's using my words. He's a weirdo, man. Musk is a weirdo. Now, he can prove himself non-weirdo, but he hasn't done that yet. He's part of what's going to cause you to lose all your support within the first year. And then what starts happening? Impeachments, independent counsels. All it takes is 2 years. You didn't win with a mandate for everything. You won with a collective mandate for change. Not everybody supported everything. So there's issues that somebody needs to bring to you to show you the breakdown of what you should counter and what you should gloss over. Which means you didn't even you could have spoke a positive message to that bishop. It's not something that you needed to attack. Correct. But there's other issues that you can attack because it's a popular thing and theme. But you have to be careful how you do it. Again, the campaign mode is not the governing mode. Thank you, Larry. So somebody needs to present to you what issues that you just present your positive message, and another issue you can be more aggressive against. Again, people are living shitty life. They need a positive message. Hope, change. That's what you actually gave them. You actually ran on the Obama message. Hope and change. Right. You need to find these operators and you need to destroy them. Because they're here right now. I can feel them. And well, I know Musk is paying them. Musk's a weirdo, man. I mean, enough is enough. Musk just came out as possibly a deep state operator, a Nazi operator. Jesus Christ. Again, like I'm telling you, don't listen to the ADL. Don't let, the ADL is going to tell you what they're going to tell you. There's probably 10 Mossad people at ADL that have passed the message up that we need to look at it. And maybe you can call them JDL. I'm just helping you out so you don't fool yourselves and dance around for the next year while everybody's hating on you. You're even getting money from foreign governments, and I know it, from their machines. But it's coming from like Americans or people that are here. Well, they're not interested in you succeeding. They're not interested in you having trouble, so you need them. See, that's KGB. Regular. No, I only, again, the whole verify thing. So I accept Putin's words because I'm not going to sit there and not accept them because we can all win with those words. But the question is, is Putin going to win? Is just Putin honest about the words? Right. Thank you, Larry. So again, they're spies. They run KGB operations, and they're going to manipulate the situation. Right. But that's what we do, the same thing. And actually, I think our people are a little bit stupider because we don't need to alienate, trillionaire Putin. We never did. I mean, when he does the wrong thing, I'm tough without it. But I think we outdid his wrong thing. Right. In other words, I think our spies actually encouraged him to do the wrong thing. Thank you, Larry. So again, you're seeing a world that others want you to see versus the world that exists. Thank you, friend. Thank you. I'm very sorry for it. You need to find these spy operators because they're in everybody's community and they're playing games with it. They may be even the ones that actually sexualized all the trans and gay stuff in there above a certain point. Again, there is a certain level of theoretically that natural things that would occur. Right. Well, you haven't won the arguments in front of the court and may not be able to. I just don't know because it's a different world. And it is just the Biden. Even before the Biden administration, they started presenting information, medical information, psychological information that define gender dysphoria and all those things. Well, that's where the court is with it. And I tried to tell you that 6 months ago. Or not 6 months ago, a few months ago. The court is in receipt, and this comes from conservatives on the court. The court is in receipt of data. And decisions were made on that data. You can't use your arguments. Right? Because you're not refuting the data, you're just restricting data. You're saying their data doesn't exist. And I think President Trump was made to believe that that's an acceptable argument before the court because he keeps speaking about it. Like there's only a chromosome. Well, there's other things now. There's psychology. There's gender dysphoria. Right. The discrimination is including people that discriminate. Again, I do agree that people that were conservative, people that believe in heterosexual lifestyle were discriminated against. Right. So again, you're not without something. But like you can't erase one discrimination with another discrimination. Right. So again, you're already starting to go down, and you have to be careful what everybody's doing. In fact, I don't know if Trump was told, but he was less popular 2 weeks after he was elected than he was the day he was elected, which means he had already lost support. Right. So again, don't paint the bullshit picture. Understand what the truth is. Make sure Trump knows what the truth is. Like people like Elon Musk, to get what he wants, he'll paint a false picture. He's been doing it his whole life. That's just the way those people are. Larry. Well, you know, if you go through everything you said you would do and the deportations and everything, and the world doesn't change, people aren't going to accept that it doesn't change and you tried. They don't accept that. That's what happened with Biden, and that's how you won. And I think Biden made some key mistakes. They didn't try to do what I told them to do like a year earlier. That way everything would come into line. Now, Biden did kind of juke you. You're not really, you know, Biden left certain things in the economy, and people aren't going to accept that. They're not going to accept that excuse. Biden left certain things in the economy. All right, I saw that happen. Biden left certain things in the economy that are time bombs and booby traps. Okay, I was muted when I tried to say that. I think I initially I touched the button by accident. So you have to look. So again, let's look at IEDs. Go out there, see if you think somebody's trying to do IEDs. I think we're not seeing something. That's a sign that possibly we're a psychic inference that we're not seeing IEDs being created, or maybe purchasing equipment to build IEDs. You have to, again, you're the investigators. Look for that. Right. So start looking for IED type of indicators. All right. So where are we now? Yeah. So one of the booby traps is all that credit out there, and you can't limit the credit card interest. It's just not going to work. It's going to actually, what you're going to do, it's the same thing as that everybody paying for somebody else's school loan. Right. It's going to screw up everybody else's credit cards. And then they're going to be mad because you screwed up their credit cards to take care of somebody who didn't pay their rent during COVID. Because that's part of it. You have to understand that part of it out there is there's a lot of bad debt and things like that from people that didn't pay their rent during COVID. And when they didn't pay their rent during COVID, they were able to get great credit. And they got these big credit cards and loans and stuff. Right. And at a certain point, that runs out when they got to start paying their rent again. Oh my Lord. So we're still at the point where COVID, where the issues from COVID still exist. Because remember, Biden didn't stop. It wasn't instant that people had to pay their rent. I think it was like 2 years into his administration before that actually lapsed. Right. Oh my God. So a lot of people just refinanced and things like that. Thanks, Larry. So it's not, the Trump dance isn't going to get you through what's coming. Look at Larry. It's just not. And it's getting, people, again, I'm in a shitty life, and I shouldn't be whatsoever with what I've done for the nation and done for each administration. Right? It's just the deep state keeps me getting nothing. So they look at you Trump dancing up there at a cocktail party. They just sick of it. Okay, they're already sick of that. Right. I guess maybe when you were running for office, they thought, well, maybe we can be part of the cocktail party and dance. Right. And blame me, people are unforgiving. You think I just got in office? Well, right. I told you it's a double-edged sword. The whole thing that you were doing, I told you was a double-edged sword. Now, of course, you needed to get in there. Your life was so far down. Right. As far as luck and all those things. Right. As far as money was fine, but you're looking at court cases. You weren't going to go to jail. There was no way you're going to put you in jail. Right. I think the strategy was if you didn't win, you would shut up. So okay, right. That would have worked. That was my strategy, actually. But you aren't going to go. As long as you shut up if you had lost the election, once you lost the election, if you just shut up, they just would have let you, and we'd find you some money, and that's it. Right. So the key to the whole thing is this: you didn't win with an individual mandate. The mandate is a mandate for change, but it's a collective change of various smaller issues or smaller groups. Right? And the weird part of that is some of your platform contradicts with other parts of your platform. So by keeping an election promise, you might actually, irk someone else. Now, it doesn't mean that they didn't know. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. It doesn't mean that they didn't know that you made those promises. Right. So again, you're kind of off the hook a little bit. So what does that mean? That means you just have to be careful how you're doing it, because you're going to try to make a promise that that you can. You keep each promise. Now, just because you keep a promise and you do something doesn't mean it fixed the problem. See, that's where it gets sticky. Because what you told people is that these are the problems, and I can fix these things over here once I fix these problems. So you kept a promise of how you were going to fix it, but time will tell whether you kept the promise of fixing it. You've already said you can't do anything about prices. I have no idea. I guess they figured if you put that out there early, then but I think you can do something. 100%. And if you don't force the issue with the manufacturers and the retailers, then you're not going to get anywhere. They're just going to, 2 years, it's going to be, impeachments and that's why I'm telling you, be careful in your retribution. You can put new people in, that's normal. Right? You've already reduced protections for government employees, they say. I didn't get deep into it, so I'm not going to tell you I have a good working knowledge of what they're saying. It hasn't made it past a single day in the court. None of it. Right. And even the conservative side of the court is concerned with the LGBTQ trans type of thing that you're doing, because they haven't seen data that supports what you're doing. It's kind of like teaching the Bible as history. Well, we're going to refute all of what they put into the court on trans and LGBTQ and how that psychology works and all that because of chromosomes. Maybe, maybe not. Well, the court may ask you to draw a distinction as to what the use is and why it's necessary. And again, I don't know what the answer is. But to me, the answer is that there's a man, woman, a trans woman, and a trans man, whatever that is. I believe that exists. And that's part of the argument that they made. But they've been around for quite some time. I just wish the world was all heterosexual. I was married, I'd go to church. But the same people that say people shouldn't be gay and that people should marry and people should go to church are the people spending millions of dollars blocking people from church, saying they're the dangerous people and we can't let them in. It's all bullshit. And many of them will go to hell for it. And many of them are in hell for it. I mean, real hell. When I say hell, do I mean hell here? No, hell in hell. Like I said, even if I'm the biggest sinner on earth, my work that I do here, speaking out, will ensure me a place in heaven. I've already been told that because nobody else will do it. You're all afraid to do it. One of the excuses are that you can't do this or you'll be ruined. Thank you, Larry. So I'm just trying to bring you back to reality. No more Zig Heils. Not even a hint of it. Because you know what's in the mind right now? That Elon Musk visits Trump and he does little Zig Heils, and that's how they know. They do it behind closed doors. I mean, Fuentes, I guess his name is. He said that's a clear as day Zig Heil with passion. Essentially what he said. He's probably right. Me saying this is going to help you. You have to get back to reality instead of living the honeymoon that doesn't exist. Your wife has already divorced you. There's no honeymoon. Thank you, Larry. So you need to figure out what's important and what's not so important. That thing. Help me make the changes and accept the things I can't change, whatever it is. Right. I was like the first person that's ever said anything, and you just you let it get under your skin. They're watching you. They watch it get under your skin. No, you need to find these people that are doing this to me, and you need to utterly trash them so that they all stay away. And if you find out they're one of your supporters, then that's a scam. They're not your supporter. They're getting paid to take out people that can really help because they want to manipulate you. Like the thing that Elon Musk did, that now they can manipulate you a little better. Right? They can manipulate the public a little better. I mean, you got to get back to reality. You can't just. I mean, even if you get more money every day, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be impeached. If they can impeach you, they will impeach you. So if we sit here in 2 years from now and there's a mad inflation, the impeachment people will get in. Now, if there's mad inflation, but maybe you did something over here, maybe it won't be so bad. So again, you actually have to try to do what Biden did if the inflation goes up. But I'd say try to beat the inflation, try to beat the retailers down, the wholesalers, try to force people to accept a little less overhead, not overhead, a little less profit. Because that's truly American, truly patriotic. You need to do that. I brought that up under the Biden Harris thing too. Right. Because I think you're planning to raise wages, but Biden already did that, and he did it better than anybody I've ever seen. I mean, those wages went sky high. Right. It's mostly cost of living, but. So enough of the bullshit. Your favorability rating's already down. You don't have this cohesive mandate. There's people that actually voted for Trump that really don't want the mass deportations. They just believe that because Trump told them that he could fix the prices and make their economic situation better. So if you don't make their economic situations better, then you lost. You lost their vote immediately. If you know you can't make their economic situation better, I don't know what you foresee in your projections, then you already lost their vote. Because they're not going, oh, yay, you got rid of the immigrants and now we have inflation. So that was a good move, right? See, that's what you got to be careful for. Because remember, when you said you were going to get to get rid of the immigrants, there were several things you said that would bring a result. And I believe the result will be that it will be safer. And again, this idea of not raising my disability even a penny, veteran disability, from Persian Gulf War, Persian Gulf Syndrome, and then paying immigrants all that money. I mean, it's crazy. And I see them. I mean, You want to see what's going on? Say at extended states and stuff. You got people, immigrants, that are running big businesses. They won't even let me get off the floor. And for all I know, the immigrants are paying them. Right? People from Mexico could be paying them to take me out. That's how dirty it is. A lot of them don't even know who's paying them. They don't care. It's just money, right? So I mean, I see all these people from Mexico. They got like $100,000 pickup truck. They got 10 employees running around laughing all day. And probably also getting government money on top of it, right? Just have the different names. So again, when you look at the amount of money that was spent on these immigrant programs, it's unaccountable. It's crazy. But again, the system is built for embezzlement. So what Elon Musk did the other day is a detractor. I believe he's going to try to be president one day. He's going to try to change the Constitution if he can. I agree. I believe that's what his goal is, to bring foreigners in here to be president. I really do believe that. He already has the machine behind him to do it. I mean, as quick as they came out there trying to support his Zig Heil. I mean, that's part of apartheid, isn't it? So again, if some bishop stands up there and tells you that she thinks you should be kind to people, say we believe we're being kind to people. We're trying to get people forward of a lot of nonsense that cause danger and unsafe environment, people being preyed upon, being adulterated in the mind and with things that may not be true about them. I mean, be more intelligent. I mean, you won because it's the economy, stupid. I don't really think the economy is as bad as you made people believe. Like I said, a lot of it was that people had debt because of discretionary spending. So it's a lot easier to listen to Trump say that it's not your fault. Right. Wages were up pretty high. I'm surprised how much I'm actually making compared to what I was making when Trump was in office. I mean, I've never seen it jump like that in the history. And again, that's because of inflation. So again, it sounds like you're planning to do the same thing Biden did. You're going to try to outpace the inflation with higher wages. But again, he couldn't sell that. I'm still waiting for somebody to bail me out from what you did to my life. I mean, it's horrible. They're still trying to kill me. I wake up, I know they're here in the projection. They're sitting there on their phones and on their computers, just focusing on me all morning before I even wake up. That's okay. We'll have a battle. We'll just keep battling. We'll just have Florida have snow. Maybe we could change it so Texas has quite a few snowstorms a year, and Florida has quite a few snowstorms. God can do that too. God can say we'll just have snow in Florida, during the winter. So when you get there for Christmas holidays or right after Christmas holidays for your, like right now, I mean, they're actually there. The snowbirds are there right now. It's a snowbird time. Because I'm in my Florida home. It's so nice. And it snows. That's God. He's warning the snowbirds. The snowbird, this is when people famously go to Florida for the Florida weather. And God brings a snowstorm. Learn to read the signs. There's no doubt Trump can be impeached in 2 years. There's no doubt. If he doesn't pull through what he said he was going to do. Because the same atmosphere that you won on is still there. That's not removed. And you're actually continuing on with that type of animosity, that kind of finger pointing, which means you're doing nothing to release that, to change that. Now it can be used against you because now you're in office. And in fact, it is already working. Your favorability is down. So that anger is now back on you. Again, they just willed something in my mind. That's right. Just keep willing, all of you, because everything that touches me gets hit. There is a possibility that Elon Musk is part of what's coming against me. Because I watched for your failure. That was a failure. No matter how much support he has, that was a failure. A failure of his mind, failure of his life, failure of his character. At a certain point, people could say, let's get rid of you. No, they haven't tried. Not at that level. Again, you're living in an illusion, all of you. You're just very lucky, all of you. We're not at the level of nation state. Let's get rid of Elon. That's just starting. No, he's made several movements that support that being a Zig Heil. Again, I'm your friend. There's people out there that they're starting to move things, and they're going to make it look like nothing's going on. It's actually game over. Your system, your machine is now linked to the United States, and it needs output, or it's going to destroy all of you. That was a mistake, a big mistake. It's bad luck. Your luck's run out. That wasn't just, I mean, if we look at everybody that we believe has struck that pose, like Laura Ingraham, I mean, those are just casual Zig Heils. That was a Adolf Hitler loving, standing in front of the swastika Zig Heil. The one thing that the Jews learned after World War II and from World War II was stick the Nazi in the oven before they stick you in the oven. And that is underway today. But you have everybody smiling at your face telling you, you just made a mistake. I mean, the man's on drugs, I understand. I mean, I'm just trying to be honest. Nazis were on drugs. That's how they killed all these people and we're so happy about it. They were on stimulants and steroids. I curse the people coming against me. And it's going to continue. I'm sure they're in the Trump camp because you're going down. You need to jettison those people, whoever they are, even if it's Elon Musk. Hey, there's snow in Florida. Florida's part of it.
This is prime snowbird time. What happens is it usually starts right after Christmas, like after the New Year, because most of them spend New Year and Christmas with their families and their friends in their hometowns. Then the snowbirds go down to Florida for a few months, 2 to 3 months. So this is the middle of the snowbird season in Florida. And in Texas, some go down to Texas. Right. God could destroy the snowbird season. Might be a little bit warmer, but still bring some snowstorms and cold weather. Correct. There's no doubt that people in the Trump camp attacked my life and destroyed it. Now, whether Donald Trump's part of it or not, I can't tell you. You obviously are depowered right now. You're obviously more susceptible than you were the day you won the election. You need to destroy them. She's that person. He's that person. Believe me, you come in my apartment and show that you broke in here, it's not going to go the same as it did before. It's obvious that you're all down. They just kept putting people in and hiring people. People aren't going to attack my life without the okay from law enforcement and the payment of big money. It's too risky. I actually built the perfect defense. But you all use government status and government money and private sector millionaire and billionaire money to build a machine to attack my life again and again and again. Yeah, I don't believe you're going to do anything about corruption in the government. I really don't. I just think you're going to take out a political vendetta, which means in 2 years, that's what's going to happen to you. Well, if the Senate and the House go to the Democrats, which could very easily happen, based upon what we saw in the last election in swings, right, and what we see right now in favorability ratings and things like that, that's all they need. That's all they need. So again, focus back on governing. What I would do is I would get me somewhere. I'm just telling you, it's very lucky to get me somewhere in life. That will definitely boost you. And then I can do my work much better because I know we can beat the economy. But it's very difficult for me to get there when you got your own people, your own Trump supporters, fucking my life and fucking my house. Well, they obviously stalked me and obsessed me and could be arrested in about 3 seconds and charged and convicted within 6 months. And should be forced to pay me damages. It's simple. If somebody actually took the case, it would take only a few days to charge them. Within 6 months, the case could be done. It depends whether they go speedy trial or not. Right. And they could order damages at the end of the trial. And they would do prison time. I mean, these people sitting in Facebook, working in X. X is no different than Twitter. Yeah, those people are backstabbers, man. They work for Elon today, work for Schmelon tomorrow. They don't care. I work within the government. That's who they are. All those people that were in the government killing me when I was in the government, now they're in Facebook and literally in Visa and banks and Twitter. Or whatever, X, Facebook, probably in Blue Sky. I mean, it's subversive, man. They should go to prison for life. The FBI is full of subversives. X is full of subversives. Facebook's full of subversives. Blue Sky's full of subversives. Not politics, man. That's just a scam. Now they outlawed the word subversive. Elon's part of that, believe me. Elon's like, well, there's no disinformation. No, there's disinformation. And actually, some disinformation is criminal, depending what you're doing with that information. Well, these things still exist. Again, when you were out there and you had no load on your machine, it didn't matter as much. Because you didn't have to be right to be right. You had so much excess money and power. I just dream of trashing my life every day and getting paid millions for it. God is not mocked. You're all going to hell. You created a false church, and Elon says he's a social Christian. And what the hell is that? I've been psychologically tortured and sexualized with that psychological torture. And I'm doing damn good compared to what they wanted me to be. And I investigated everything they're doing. So a lot of that is just simple investigation. There are no strange sexual situations. There are no children. Yeah, there's children that they put in my life trying to use a sexualization system I explained. They have young kids that have been trained up in this shit. So I got to wonder if the people I worked with, these weirdo women, were part of this when they were kids. Attempting to sexualize adult men. No, it's real. I mean, they're sickos. That woman that's Jonathan Luna's girlfriend, and believe me, I wasn't anybody's that was married's girlfriend or anything like that. I mean, that's the quality of these people. Always been the quality of these people. Don't let them flip this around. They ran sexualization operations at the level of the Soviet Union, KGB, Chinese secret police. They tortured me and torture me. Why am I saying this? Because you won't stop. You're psychopaths. You should have been destroyed and put under the prison. I'm talking about decades of sexualization operations and psychological torture. Every last one of those people, that's who they are. They're not social Christians, social Jews. They're paying people mass amounts of money to destroy my life while I'm simply just trying to find friends and a church or a synagogue or some sort of spiritual community. We already know that they embraced the Yogi Sikh cult. And we know they were a sex cult. So don't let them cloud the truth of who they were and who they are. And they paid them millions of dollars to do things to me while it was there and tried to convince me it was all me, right? It was all me, right? Where's your big leader? She's in hell. God took her to hell. Yogi Bhajan Sikhs. She didn't merge into the infinite. She merged into hell. Because you want to be devils. Maybe Elon's next to merge into hell. I'm sure Mossad's wondering if that's what it's going to take to break them of their bullshit. Un-American, unpatriotic, criminal-minded, Nazi. Not here to play games. You've been fucking in my life long enough. You caused October 7th with the bullshit you all did. I was fixing it. 100%. But y'all gonna walk out, yeah, peace, peace, we're bringing peace. You get these people away from me, and you fix my life, or you'll all be destroyed. Plain and simple. Ground rules. Well, I helped you yesterday, and I received it down. You'll be fucked for me being put down for helping you. No, Trump solicited help inside. Right. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry. You destroy these people. You rip their heads off and you shit down their neck all day long until they're in some hole somewhere away from me. And if Mossad does that, and if Shin Bet does that along with everyone else, then Hashem will bless you and you'll go back up. But listen to me when I speak. There's nobody in the Jewish world really taking on that Zigheil. They're afraid of him. Nobody to be afraid of. Just curse him and he'll fall off the side of the planet. Well, maybe he'll change. We'll see. Oh, what? Oh, you see that he did something for Jewish people? He went to Auschwitz. Big deal. He was afraid back then. He took power. Now he's not afraid. You see what happened? Back when he went to Auschwitz, he was receiving pressure to not be anti-Semitic. So he played his game. He went to Auschwitz, kissed the ring for a little while. Now he believes he's above the president. He controls the president. So now he's out as a Nazi, as he's always been. Don't show me photos of Elon Musk at Auschwitz. Maybe trying to think, can I get the ovens back going? Can we actually reinvigorate this place? And maybe I'll put Fuentes in charge. It was a scam. They pressured me when I was trying to say certain things. So I know he was being pressured, and he was scared. So he went to Auschwitz. He went to Israel. And now they're going to bring that up after he shoots the biggest Zig Heil anybody has shot since Hitler stood up on the die and in front of all the Nazis and shot the Zig Heil. And now we're just going to act like it doesn't exist. Give him a break. God will give him a break, all right. There's a great chance that Elon meddled in my life and destroyed it. And he's just a psycho. Took over part of my persona. Right. Elon's on probation. I'll tell you that. Right. At this point, Elon's on probation. We're talking spycraft probation. Every Jewish spy in the world that's honorable is watching Elon right now. So don't show me that he met with a Jewish leader, he went to Auschwitz. It's very easy to read. Very easy to read. He was being pressured not to be anti-Semitic. So he made himself look like he wasn't anti-Semitic. And then as soon as they won the election, he shoots a Zig Heil. This you Jews. Question is, how many of these cops are Nazis? You need to find out, Mossad. You need to find out, Shin Bet. Game over. No mercy. Find them. Find them all. Do your job. Find every last one of these stinking Nazis and take them out any way you need to. Spy versus spy. They want to play spy versus spy? Play spy versus spy. Elon Musk does not have enough money to build a machine to defend himself against Shin Bet and Mossad. Period. No questions asked. This isn't politics, all of you. Does it make me anti-Republican? In fact, I've never seen a Republican. Elon Musk it's a money-grubbing piece of shit, really. That's what drives him. He's not a humanitarian. That's his like fantasy. It's like his drug-fueled fantasy. Everybody gets money from him. Oh, yeah, you're such a humanitarian, such a wonderful man. You love people. Anybody that loves people do not shoot Zig Heils. So he gets this status of being this ultra disabled person. Can you see what's going on here? He's the richest man on earth. He's not an ultra disabled person. Oh, it's poor Elon's autism. Oh, can we bring RFK in here and explain why he shot the Zig Heil? Can we bring RFK in here? RFK, is it autism in vaccines? No, it's the vaccine you received as a child. That's why I did it. I never steered Israel wrong, not even one day. The world I would have created with the plan that Hashem handed me would have been just amazing. Now, if you hate Arabics and you hate Arabic people and you hate Palestinians, it's not going to work because you would be truly living in peace with them. And you'd all both be investing in Jerusalem along with everybody else and creating this super Jerusalem. Nothing says that the borders that were established 10 years ago, 15 years ago, were ever going to have to be the final borders of those territories. It never said that it had to be two states. There was another idea that I had come up with where it was one state but two substates, but in an honest government. There's all these plans that I was throwing out there. And I said, you don't have to keep the board. It doesn't mean they get this and they get that. You adjust it so it works. So that you come to an agreement. I also said that we could have an advisory board running Jerusalem. There's a lot of stakeholders that really appreciate Jerusalem and do invest in Jerusalem. But we can increase that investment if we do the right thing. Again, Jerusalem was and should be a international city. I'm not saying that Israel doesn't have the final say, but we could probably do something to have all the stakeholders run what do they call that? Like a council, right? And then they would feel much more inclined to invest in Jerusalem, and the splendor would increase. So I put a lot of effort into describing what we could build and what we could negotiate. But I said it all depends on what the Palestinian Authority becomes. We're not going to allow a terrorist organization, and I didn't believe that they were going in that direction when we were honestly entering into negotiations. We're not going to let a terrorist organization run a part of that nation, whether it's a two-state or a one-state solution. There are one-state solutions that work, but again, if you squander 15 years, you squander 15 years, and that's on all of you, and that's a shit on you today, all of you. I invoke that. I invoke that shit on you. For 15 years, you squandered the ability to fix Israel, and you killed me while I was trying to fix Israel. Correct, Larry. I'm your king, Israel. You need to protect me. That's why they're killing me. Satan knows I'm your king. And you don't have to worship me. I'm not good with it. I don't like being a king. I just want to be an everyday person with a wife and some kids and a religion. That's it. But again, if you study the scripture, Hashem says you're it, you're it. Well, Hashem chose me because you chose me. That's how it works. That's how David was chosen. That's how Solomon was chosen. Because inside, I am your favorite person. Hashem can go inside. He puts everybody together. He has this interaction world that none of us experience in our bodies generally. And it said, this guy. That's who they want. But again, same thing with Jesus. That's who Jesus was. He was king of Israel. That was his claim to fame and how it all started. But again, I tell you that, well, it shows you the condition of the planet. That I'm king and I'm in nothing. Right? But, Jesus leaves that friend, but then they crucified him. Rabbi Akiva was king, killed him. Rabbi Shimon had to hide. He's king. Because there are kings and then there's the king. That's why I can say something to Elon Musk, because I am king of Israel. Otherwise, I couldn't. I'm king of the Jews. I understand, Jesus has tried to, he's, again, if you'd let me get in, I could help you understand where Jesus is in all this. And I've explained a little bit of it. Rabbi Yeshua ben David said that he leaves, and now greater work shall we do. So again, for you Christians that don't understand what I just said and think I'm dissing Jesus, you're out in left field, and you probably aren't even really Christians, and maybe shouldn't be one. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry. Jesus never said that he's the last king and there'll never be a king. I mean, that'd be foolhardy. It's like saying I'm the last general and never be a general, so you have an army without a general. I mean, that don't work, right? Right. The king is a general. So what happens is you have these crazy people in governments that get mad that I was right. Right. That's who's driving you all to attack me. Well, we need to look at the stability of Elon Musk and figure out what is he and what's going on in his mind. He's just way too big to just let fly off the handle like that. It's obvious. It's obvious what he did. Some poor autistic kid. Yeah, right. How would he get billions if he was that disabled? Correct. But that just shows you I'm really disabled. And they give you no credit for being disabled. The planet's upside down. It's Satan, man. I don't know if you can see it yet, Mossad, Shin Bet, but it's Satan. They're Satan. Well, you need to find these people and figure out who they are. I believed it was a partial Nazi movement for a while now. Right. Now, Elon Musk does have psychological issues. It could be simply that he lost his way and he can find his way. But again, we need to be sure of that. I mean, he's running spycraft operations, I'm sure of it. Right. There's no doubt that X is a spy operation. And again, I bring it up. Other people are doing it. Okay, you do it, but there is a limit for all of you. And again, I believe you're all over the limit. And again, we have snow in Florida during snowbird season. And in Texas, there's no birds there. Correct. So what's her name? What's her name? I just saw her. That's why I saw her in the news. I don't remember her name. Oh, chief of staff lady. Chief of staff needs to sit down. She needs to come up with she needs to break down the issues and see what's worth responding to. Okay, not exactly. Everything is worth responding to. You don't need to. Don't make it look like you're needy and you have to respond to everything. There's things that you don't want to respond to or you want somebody else to respond to. Right. But she has to break it down to find out where and when and how the response should go. And you usually have a chart. So when the subject matter comes up, you have to update the chart because people's emotions and how they react to issues changes. So you have to know whether it's something you fight head on or it's something that you just present your point of view. And I think that's where it should have been with the bishop. Again, she's a bishop. That was heartfelt. She's not trying to be a liberal. In her mind, she's not a liberal activist. Okay. And again, we could say you're a conservative activist. Again, you have to be careful of that because what goes around comes around. So, so that's what the way you should have said, look, we believe we are being compassionate. We're not here. I mean, you're not here to violate rights of gay people. I don't believe that Trump is that far into it. Hopefully he's not. Right. But we believe that we're being compassionate. We're constructing a world where everybody, when you say merit, it doesn't mean anything to the average American. Right. Meritocracy or whatever. Get rid of the technical jargon. Right. And so I think you did that the first administration when you used so much technical jargon. So some people, that seems like you're trying to hide something when you say something they don't understand. So what you want to do is you just want to say we believe we're being compassionate. We're not looking at making people afraid, although that we understand that people are afraid, and we'll be as gentle as we can, but we can't be absolutely gentle because we have a serious problem and we need to fix it, or something like that. So again, agree to disagree to some of the issues, and that's I think maybe the first administration was a little more of that. I can see some people are coming to some realizations as to who's involved in attacking my life. I guess the lights are getting turned on somewhere. Thank you, Larry. Right, because again, comes around, goes around. If you agree to disagree, maybe they'll agree to disagree. So we don't get to that impeachment fervor, or even that, or that they're set up for impeachment fervor. The people that are doing this to me are murderers, and you need to destroy them. They're just contract killers. Some of them are just psycho people, and they're in that system because they'll do a contract kill. As far as the break-ins, I'm still confused. I'm trying to because we've got Chileans, right? Are they hiring these immigrants? I said that before, that they're hiring immigrants. The break-in people might be the immigrants, right? And the cops may be allowing it. To tell you the truth, just because one cop arrests a group of Chileans doesn't mean that other cops didn't empower them. Right? They could be living in a community where the cops are dirty and nobody bothers them. They go out in other communities and do the burglaries. And then even sex trafficking, drug trafficking, who knows? And who knows is a clue that it's going on. Who knows if who knows comes up. So again, they'll curse it, so be careful. Take it with a grain of salt. But who knows usually means yes, it's happening. Because who knows who's and God, that's who. Right. I think I said that back when I was in Santa Fe. They're hiring immigrants to be deep state spycraft operators. But in doing that, they allow sex trafficking and narcotics trafficking. There's people in Marshall will tell you that they're not arresting everybody. That there is some sort of system, like I say, going on. But they're not going to tell you open. Right? They'd have to know you in the side conversation. Right? In a place they're sure there's no listening devices. Like where like so again, come up with an intelligent list on how to respond. Again, Trump you can show it to Trump. I mean, yeah, he's going to fly off the handle every once in a while, but because I do, everybody does. Right? Anybody that's really a king or has real power. Right? I mean, I'm broke and I'm a pauper, but that's because corruption reigns supreme. Wait, so, and he'll know whether it's an issue we want to take straight on, or an issue that we want to just kind of agree to disagree, and kind of present our point of view, or your point of view. I guess. Well, you're not going to win in the court. A lot of the things that you're talking about isn't going to be doable based upon the court. Again, even like some of the things you can't do without the Senate and the House passing a law. Some of the stuff like TikTok, I don't think anybody's really going to fight it all that much. Right. But some of the more serious issues, it's just going to get turned right around when it gets to the federal court. Now, Elon definitely has some issues where he's a little more powerful than he should be at this point. It's not because of anything I said or anything I did. It's something he did. Thank you, Larry. Well, he was just exposed. I mean, you like you say, well, why did he win then? Why? Because again, why do we have this money? Why did we win? Well, because Satan rules this planet, number one. You're all part of Satan's thing. Right? But you're being exposed. So you have to be careful what you're all doing because you're going to believe a lie. Again, that's that thing in the scripture. Elon was sent a strong delusion so that he would believe a lie. And what did that do? That revealed him, revelation. Right. Oh. Now, you have to understand something. Trump could have been saved by God simply because he's just, Biden isn't any better. Correct. Correct, Larry. So again, you have to make yourself that better person. And then God will, open up the gates, of economy and these type of things. So I think you all need to meet with the people that are setting the prices in this country. We know it exists. Now, yeah, they might be your donors. Yeah, if they inflate the prices, they give you more money. But you need to get clean with that. You need to say, hey, we as a nation will succeed better. Just a few pennies sometimes makes a difference. Right? Across the board on everything. Right? So they don't need to. They've already done it. They brought it up in the oil industry, where something happens and it obviously can't affect the price of oil today, and it wouldn't affect the price of oil sometimes for 6 months to a year, but they raise the price immediately. That's what we got going on in groceries also. And the fact is, it may not ever affect the price of groceries, because it may, like if the price of gas goes up and the price of gas goes down, like they don't drop the prices when the price of gas goes down. And that's something they need to do, because it's operating costs. So I would meet with those people and say that there's an expectation of cooperation on grocery pricing. The funny thing is, I'm not a buddy of Walmart because they attacked me. I'm a friend to Sam Walton inside, or was. I really haven't connected to him in a long time. I can connect to his spirit and stuff if I want to. Again, he had me look at a few things in the stores. And I look at this, what's available spiritually and things like that. But I believe Walmart has attempted to keep the prices down. So again, they're not my best buddy, but I do have to say that I can go to another store and see something like way higher price. It may just be their buying power and all that. I understand that. And they get great value items. Right. So again, the other people may not be able to keep up, but maybe something can be done as far as manufacturers and wholesalers, right, to help them keep the prices down. Thank you, sir. So it's possible, but the question is, is it just their buying power or is it something else? And I believe they try to keep the price, like that rollback system. When they can roll it back, they roll it back. So again, we do see at Walmart that they do deflate prices. So if they can save a buck, we save a buck. Now I'm not telling you they're not getting rich off us, right? But they definitely do have a system in place to help reduce prices when they can. So again, I don't know. Like when people were talking about inflation, I was looking around and thinking, what it doesn't seem to be too much inflation. But if you go to like Price Chopper, and I'm not picking on Price Chopper, if you go to Hy-Vee, you'll see the higher prices. Right. So I struggle to shop at Walmart because they're harassing me there. Right. They knew that trying to ruin my money, they send me somewhere else. Right. So I need to get out of this area, or at least this immediate area, out of this apartment. You need to start paying me for all my work. And I'm not Elon's enemy. I'm Elon's best friend by explaining what's going to happen. Again, what's his name? What's that guy's name? The singer. I forget the rapper's name. See, We even forgot his name. What's that guy's name with his wife with the boobies and the butt? Kanye. Kanye. Kanye, you know, that can happen to Elon Musk. It's not powerful Jews. I mean, you want to be anti-Semitic? That's not the way to handle rich Jews. You know, the funny thing about rich Jews is when we get to the end of the story, Kanye is worse than the rich Jews that he describes. You know, I'm not saying the rich Jews are like that, but again, I know rich Jews can be like that. I mean, they've tried to attack me for trying to help the Palestinians, so they've done it to me, and I'm just a poor man, right? So again, when we find out that, and again, Elon Musk could talk about rich Jews, but everybody knows he's a son of a bitch in the business world and in employment world. And I'll still tell you, I'm not going to buy into the bullshit. Your statistics on how much time a government employee stays in the office is bullshit. What you did is you included in the field as not being in the office. And some people work. I was even told in the mine that there's some people that don't even have an office. They work in the field. And they travel around the United States. And that's their office, wherever they end, whatever hotel room they end up in. Right. Like inspectors or something like that. So again, I think you misread the pay stubs and all that. And I think the guy that who was that made the statement? The acting chief of something, ICE or something. I think he realized that you did that because the way he worded it showed that he added in the field. Right. Now, I don't know. I mean, they might be at home, but it doesn't. From what if I were working as a criminal investigator, the amount of time that we spend in the field would actually be probably 40 hours. Right there where you get your 40 hours. And you probably work 60 hours. All right. But I guess somebody could be in the office doing the reports. But I would, nowadays you probably do your reports somewhere else. I get it. Yeah. Well, it doesn't pay to put them in the office. It really doesn't. Not investigators. There's no reason to do it. I'll be back in a second. Stay peace.